Hello and welcome. My name's Hannah from Tula Being Mindful Movement. Today's practice is a seated practice. We're working the full body. So to begin with, it'll be neck, shoulders, spine, hips, and also a little bit of releasing of the legs. So you're going to want to grab yourself quite a sturdy chair. I've found a dining table chair. We want to try to avoid anything that is on wheels and anything, if possible, that has armrests. And once you've found your sturdy chair, set yourself up by just bringing yourself a little further forwards on that seat. So I've got sit bones on there, but I'm not resting into the back of the chair. And then place your feet at hip width. You can have shoes on if you want. I'm choosing no shoes today, just so that I can really feel the earth. And just placing the feet, if possible, roughly underneath the knees with the heels. Maybe I could invite you now to bring the palms to face down. This can give quite a grounding effect for some of us. And just feeling into the weight and maybe even the warmth of the palm. If it feels comfortable, close the eyes or just lowering the gaze a little bit here. Take a moment just to take stock of the posture that you start your practice in. Take a moment to notice if you need to wiggle around still a little bit more, take any adjustments as you find an even grounding through hips and feet. If pressing down lightly through the palms and the feet helps you gain a little focus, go ahead and try that. Maybe you notice here patches here within the body that are speaking up a little louder, a little clearer to you as you attempt to find some sort of neutral line through your spine. And the little conversations that you might be having with your body in this moment are completely normal. So let's see if we can make peace with the little voices that are coming up from parts of the body. Taking a generous inhale through the nose and a soothing sigh out through the mouth. As you inhale, you might like to even state to yourself, I am. And as you exhale, perhaps try out the words at ease. That might take a little bit of convincing, and that's okay. Inhaling, if it feels right for you, I am. And as you exhale, maybe finding some other words that create a sense of ease. If the eyes are closed, blink them open. And we'll go ahead and start by reaching the hands all the way out to the side. I like to turn the palms inwards, right up at the top. Let's take a moment just to pause here, reaching the arms. And I'm choosing to take a little raise of one shoulder, then the other. You don't have to take the gaze up, but just sort of play with that for a moment. I'm also choosing to actually direct my gaze upwards and just seeing how that might feel as well. Let's not forget about the breath that we just started to gently work with. Perhaps you inhale, reach one side, and exhale, reach the other, or perhaps you're working with something else a little more rhythmical that feels good for you. And then maybe one more, reach through both hands, and let's allow those arms to gently float their way down. Maybe just pausing here, letting the arms rest beside the body. We had them reaching up overhead for a little bit of time. You might notice the blood flowing back towards the fingertips. And how is that arising for you in terms of sensation? Maybe you feel a little tingling somewhere in the hands. Maybe you feel a sense of warmth or coolness. Maybe it's even in the shoulders that you're feeling it more. Next time we take an inhale, let's once again reach the arms up, just wherever you can reach them. And then as you turn the palms down, exhaling, let's interlace the fingers behind the back. Now I'm going to give you some options here. If we're finding an interlace of the fingers quite challenging today, maybe you just take hold of the elbows. Could you take note of which hand is resting where? And we'll come back to that on the other side. If you're interlacing fingers, could you take note of which thumb is on top of the other? It can be quite challenging when they're behind your back. Don't overthink it. So if you have the hands interlaced, or if you have hold of the elbows, just see if you can start now by shifting your elbows and hands over towards your left side. And as you do that, try to avoid sort of collapsing through the middle of the body. See if you can stay quite nice and neutral, as I call it, lengthening up through the spine. There might be a little bit of pushback between lower back and those arms. Feel a sense of connection there. Don't worry if the hands are not hooking around the waist like mine are. Just seeing if the elbows can shift over towards your left side will do. And then I'm going to attempt to drop left ear down towards the left shoulder and just see how that feels to begin with. You might have already chosen to close the eyes, or at some point you might choose to do that through this. Here I invite you to play a little bit, and it's a gentle playfulness of exploring sensations as you begin to tilt your chin in different directions. And we're exploring sensations probably through the side and the back of the neck. Maybe it reaches down into the shoulders a little bit. At times you might even feel gentle tugs within the chin or the face somewhere. I invite you to try to move slowly. And then see if you can come to pause in perhaps a sweet spot, somewhere that you feel sensation that is not painful in any way, but you know it's there in your body. And then if you feel like you can, see if you could, over the next couple of breaths, drop into that sensation a little bit more. One more round of breath. And then as you lift the head back up to neutral, release the hands. We'll sweep them up again. Inhale. Turn the palms away. Exhale. Once again, we'll interlace fingers or take hold of the elbows. Could you take note of which thumb is on top and swap over the thumb that is on the top now? If you can take note of the original way that you held onto your elbows, could you just swap that around a little bit? So we're shifting those elbows and hands over towards your right side, just seeing how far they'll go. And it might be different on either side. Let's not overanalyze that, but we might have a gentle awareness of some of the differences within our body. So again, when it feels good, just dropping that right ear down towards the right shoulder. Maybe the eyes have gone ahead and closed. And here we have time to explore. So perhaps not staying still right away. You might be tucking the chin in closer towards the chest or moving it further away. You might be turning the nose in different directions to explore sensation there. Maybe you're noticing the sensation of the arms resting into the lower back. Maybe you notice warmth of connection there. And then I invite you to find that sweet spot and pause. Stay with sensation. How does that sensation of stretch feel or come up for you in this moment? Can you imagine a sense of lengthening through the side of the neck, the back of the neck, maybe even through the outer edge of the shoulder, maybe up towards the face? And last round of breath. And slowly go ahead and release, reaching the arms up. This time we're going to take a twist. So let's bring our right hand forwards and our left hand back. I'm going to bend the elbows here. Now, it might be like myself, you actually can't go too far if you've got a very high chair. Mine you can't see, but it's quite high up. This is far enough anyway. So just seeing if you can pause here. We've turned our arms into sort of big stop signs here, palms facing out, thumbs in, little fingers out. And then reach the hands up, inhale. And we'll do that the other direction. Exhale, bending the elbows. So as you pause here, do you notice that one knee is trying to drag further forwards than the other? That's okay, just notice that sort of actual unevenness through the hips. We're going to reach up again, inhale, and then exhale, twist to the first direction. Inhale, reach up, and then exhale, twist to the second direction. Inhale, reach up, and twist to that first direction. This time, lowering your right hand to the outside of that right knee, or just sort of placing it somewhere on that thigh. And then perhaps you can hold on to the chair that's behind you. If you feel like you can, you could even use the back of the chair. So it was either the seat or the back. Just see what you can do there. And I'm using a little bit of pressure here on the hands. Now I'm noticing that my right knee is trying to travel forward. So I'm actually going to refocus those knees and hips. If you find that there's too much sensation going on, you need to back off. So perhaps just bringing that left hand to your hip is more than enough. Always checking in with your physical body and how it's feeling today. What is it that my body needs today? And then gently release. We won't raise the arms up this time. Just pause to center, palms facing down. This time reach the arms up. We'll go for that twist. And that left hand takes hold of the outside of the left knee. That'll be your right knee. And then seeing what you can do with that right hand. Perhaps it holds onto the chair behind you, the seat, if you've got the space. Maybe it is possible to take hold of the back of the chair. That might feel too much. Or perhaps just resting palm onto hip. And that next adjustment of just noticing which knee is further forwards, usually it's going to be your left knee dragging forwards. Could you bring that back to stability? So both are roughly the same sort of distance forwards. And that might mean you twist less. Just pausing here, using a little bit of strength through the arms to hold you in place, but also a little bit of stability through the legs to hold you in place. Breathe. And then go ahead and just gently release back to center. How does it feel to lift those heels up now, coming up onto the balls of the feet? And then exhale, lower. And then could you peel the toes up? And then exhale, lower. Let's run through that at least 2 more times. Maybe linking a gentle rhythmic breath with that movement. Lowering the heels, lifting the toes and the balls of the feet, lowering. I'm going to go for 1 more round if you're joining me. From here, Let's go ahead and lift the left leg up and out to the side. So lift and then place it down. Go ahead and see if you can then balance your left elbow on your left knee or thigh. And I like to pivot that palm to face up. Then see what you can do by peeling that right shoulder back and perhaps peering over that right shoulder or towards it if that works for you. If you'd like to attempt to add on a little bit, perhaps you'd like to now reach that right arm out to the side, reaching it up. Maybe it pauses, reaching upwards towards the ceiling. You might even choose to take the gaze upwards, or maybe even reaching further away from that right hip. Maybe you explore turning the gaze. You might choose to pause with the gaze turned up or down. And then gently lift your way back up. I'm going to hold onto the chair just as I bring that foot back to center. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So we're going to lift the right leg up and out to the side. Go ahead and start leaning down towards that right thigh and knee, maybe flipping that palm up, opening the chest so that that left shoulder peels back at this stage, and then adding on as you can and want to. Perhaps reaching upwards first, exploring where the gaze might go. Perhaps reaching away from that left hip. Perhaps you take an exploration of the gaze. I like to think about inhaling to rise up. You might again hold onto the chair or just feel into your stability of core as you bring the foot back. At this point, we want to bring our feet back to feeling really stable. If you do feel like you want to shuffle further back and rest your spine against the back of the chair, you might choose to do that too as we take just a few moments pause at the end of our practice here. I'm choosing to have palms face down in that sense of affirming and bringing a sense of gratitude towards myself in my practice today. If it feels right for you to close the eyes, go ahead and do so. Here we seal our practice with a few moments of tuning inwards. Perhaps we even remind ourselves of our little mantra with breath. I am as you inhale. Anything that works for you that feels a sense of ease, at ease as you exhale. Again, thank you for practicing. My name's Hannah. Be well.